TorahCafe.com.
I know this is very dangerous, very dangerous. We have 10 minutes left. What have we missed from a legal, ethical point of view, under the large umbrella, if you will, of winning at all costs, the ethics of winning at all costs? What have we missed in these subjects? Yes, sir. You get 30 seconds. What do you got?
Question for the judge. What about elected judges where in certain states the Supreme Court's elected with a 5 or 7 year term where they have millions of dollars going into the campaigns? Can a judge in that situation ever be really impartial?
Good stuff. By the way, 30 seconds or less with the questions and 30 seconds left with the response. Yes.
No.
The Jewish tradition finds elected judges to be repugnant to basic notions of justice. The judge is 100% correct. Very problematic.
Excellent point. Yes, anyone else? Yes, sir.
In the judge's case of the $50,000 bribe, or bribe attempt, what's the judge rejects it, of course. What's his obligation in terms of reporting the attempt?
For those of you who have not heard the question, the gentleman asked the question in the case of the proposed $50,000 bribe, which of course would be rejected by every judge that the judge knows, what is the responsibility of the judge who is approached to report this bribe?
But modify it so
yes.
that it's not just simply $50,000. It's a friend of the judge's.
It's a friend of the judge's
who has a personal problem.
Who has a personal problem.
Seeking out help from his friend, the judge.
And he
says, you know what, and I'll make it even nicer. I'll take you and your wife on a vacation.
I'll take you and your wife on vacation, and you got to complicate things, don't you? Okay. Yes, Judge, please share. 30 seconds or less.
Report it to the FBI.
Mike, you agree?
Otherwise, he comes to me.
I love these succinct responses. Anyone else? Any ethical issue we've not covered that you want to have covered in a very clear way? Yes, Rabbi.
Turning in family members and the ethical issues of having people turn in members of their own family.
For those of you who have not heard, the Rabbi has raised the question, what are the ethical issues associated with turning in members of your own family? Now, these are particularly in the Jewish community? Anywhere. Family. La familia. Yes, Rabbi.
I think that when a family member seeks to involve you in their criminal activity, that imposes upon you a duty to report in ways that merely when you notice family members committing a crime, you would have no such obligation. So, for example, you're an attorney and an officer of the court, and you discover, hard as it is to believe, you have a 17-year-old child who's trying pot. I think this is a parental matter and not a law matter, and it would be unwise as an officer of the court. That's different than when your 17-year-old son wants to sell you a joint. That might be a different kind of case through and through. I think there's a difference between a family member who seeks to bring you into their criminal enterprise, the family as they say, and a family member whose criminal activity merely comes to your attention. We're not a society that generally mandates that you report every crime that you see, and I think it's very disruptive of the small family unit if you're under an obligation to turn in your children every time you see them committing a crime.
Rabbi, if your 17-year-old son beats the hell out of another 17-year-old in the high school who is smaller, weaker, and frankly your 17-year-old acted as the bully in this case and really maimed this kid, and everyone else was afraid of your 17-year-old son, we really beat this kid down. Do you have a responsibility to report your son to the authorities?
I think I would report even my own child who is beating people up in a violent way. These require judgment. But a 17-year-old who's beating people down, that requires the police. That's different than a 7-year-old who's beating people down. These are matters of judgment, but yes.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no more questions, I would like everyone to join me with a hearty round of applause for our distinguished